Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Jonna Spilbor for more on this. Jonna, in their filing, Harpootlian and Griffin alleged that that the clerk of the court tampered with the jury by advising them not to believe Murdaugh's testimony and other evidence presented by the defense, pressuring them to reach a quick guilty verdict, even misrepresenting critical and material information to the trial judge in her campaign to remove a juror she believed to be favorable to the defense. It's always a high bar to get a retrial. Yeah. Do you think they can clear that bar with this?
This is such a legal can of worms. Like, my jaw should still be on the floor. I just can't imagine anything like this happening by the hand of the person who is essentially the right hand of a trial judge in a case like this. At the very least, and you're right, like this is a very high bar. It is almost impossible to overcome that high bar. People ask for new trials all the time. They are routinely denied. However, in this case, at the very least, Alex Murdaugh deserves a hearing to determine whether that new trial is warranted. And I can't imagine any judge saying no to the hearing based on the evidence that we now know is in the petition that I cannot wait to read.
In her very fine examination of this trial and the whole case in her Fox Nation special, Martha McCallum does talk to Rebecca Hill. She also, of course, talked to Buster Murdaugh, who insists that his father was railroaded in the trial. Listen to what he said.
I do not believe it was fair.
Why?
I was there for 6 weeks studying it, and I think it was a tilted table from the beginning. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of the jurors felt that way prior to when they had to deliberate. It was predetermined in their minds prior to when they ever heard any shred of evidence that was given in that room.
Now, I don't know if Buster had the information that Harpootlian and Griffin just outlined, but what he's saying would seem to be of a piece of what they just told us.
You know, and it sort of makes sense for those of us who watched every moment of this trial. I mean, look, this was a well-known family in the community. These were egregious facts. He got caught. Alex Murdaugh got caught in tremendous lies. I mean, so he, in a sense, he shot himself in the foot. However, the fact that you have somebody who's inside the courtroom, not an attorney, not the judge, but somebody who's an insider, trying to give signals or worse to the jurors is something that just cannot stand. So, and the benefit to Alex Murdaugh, obviously, will be if he does get the hearing and he does get a second trial. I would suspect that second trial is going to look a heck of a lot different than trial number one, but that's way down the road.
You know, of course, that the case that Harpootlian and Griffin made all along here, particularly after the evidence came forward, that it was Alex Murdaugh's voice that was heard on that recording by his deceased son at the kennels, that, okay, maybe he's a liar, maybe he's a drug addict, maybe he's a lowlife in so many different ways, but it doesn't make him a murderer. Now, in order to get a new trial, the criteria for newly discovered evidence has to be the following: would likely change the result of the original trial, was discovered after the original trial took place, could not have been discovered before the original trial, and is material to his guilt or innocence. If what the court clerk allegedly did is true, would it satisfy at least a number of those criteria?
All the boxes are checked. Every single one of those boxes are checked. The only way a judge can come back and not grant a hearing or not grant a new trial is if the jurors that came forward with their affidavits, who we now know they're going to have to testify at a hearing if a hearing is granted, if for some reason their credibility is in the tank and they are proven liars, to me, that is the only way a judge can say, no, we're not going to grant a new trial in this case, because every single box in the criteria is met.
All right. Well, as the attorney said, Attorney General's got a short period of time to respond. We will keep following this and see if they get their wish. Jonna Spilbor, as always, thank you for joining us with your analysis. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.